Today, May 5th, is the National Day of Awareness for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women and Girls, honoring Hannah Harris, a 21-year-old Northern Cheyenne woman who went missing and was later found murdered in 2013. Each year, we wear red to remember those who are missing, honor those whose lives have been taken, and support the families who continue to search, speak out, and demand justice. What began as a single day of remembrance has grown into a national call to action. According to the National Institute of Justice in 2008, less than half of violent victimizations against women are ever even reported to police. Let me say that again. Less than half of all violent crimes committed against women are ever even reported to police. A 2016 study by the National Institute of Justice found that more than 4 out of 5, or 84.3% of American Indian and Alaskan Native women have experienced violence in their lifetimes, including 56.1% who have experienced sexual violence. The homicide rate for American Indian and Alaskan Native women is 10 times higher than that of the national average. And in fact, murder is the third leading cause of death among women of that population. Despite the obvious crisis and the increased focus on protecting children and preventing sex trafficking in the United States, there is a stunning lack of resources and very little media attention dedicated to addressing the violence and finding out what happened to these women and children. Of the 5,487 incidents of violence committed against Indigenous women and children in 2022, over 4,000 of them were under the age of 18. In 2016, there were 5,712 cases reported to law enforcement agencies across the country, but only 116 of those cases were actually logged by the Department of Justice, which is important because the Department of Justice manages the missing persons database used to help identify and investigate missing persons cases. A 2018 Urban Indian Health Institute study involving a sampling of 506 cases found that 95% of those cases involving missing or murdered Indigenous women and children were not covered by national or international news, and only a quarter of those 500 cases were covered by any media, including local, regional, or national. If you would like to help, please share this video, share the information that you've learned, and try to raise awareness. Call and/or write your state and federal representatives and demand that they allocate the resources to protect these women and children. You could try reaching out to the media and demand they pay more attention to the issue, and even maybe write a letter to the editor of your local newspaper. Support organizations already fighting, such as Not Our Native Daughters, and you can even get your 2025 National Week of Action lists, including a social media toolkit with graphics and statistics and all that great stuff to share at the National Indigenous Women's Resource Center website. All the information about those websites are in the graphic above. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. And please, do everything that you can to raise awareness. Do everything that you can to help these families find their lost loved ones and prevent this from happening in the future. Thank you.